It's like Crazy Bones, but with animals. Hello! Today my video is gonna be about my favourite TV shows. So if you watch TV, then this is the video for you. One of my favourite TV shows that I really love is The Walking Dead. Survival TV show where it's very much fighting and creating a base, trying to create a safe place for you all to live and thrive. And then someone comes and thinks they're bigger and better and has a bigger team than you and wants what you've got and will snatch it away. And there's lots of villains in it, and there's lots of gore in it, and there's lots of loss in it. You find people, you get attached to them, you love them, and then they die. There is, yeah, lots of characters will die. But yeah, it's a good show. Like, it's good, especially like I said, if you like zombies, it's even better. It's just a great apocalyptic zombie TV show. Also, another TV show that I have really enjoyed watching is Westworld. So this is based on the future, and it's basically a theme park. I'm not going to go into too much detail in case people haven't watched it. But it is basically a theme park for people who have lots of money, because by the sounds of it, it's very expensive to go to this theme park. You pay lots of money to go, and you get into this theme park, and it's all Western themed. So that is why it's called Westworld. That is the name of the park, Westworld. And yeah, it's all Western themed. You all dress up as cowboys, and you know, there's, you know, the bar with all the hookers, and you know, all the sheriffs that go off and bounty hunt, you know, all of that. But there is a little bit of a twist to it. The people who work, I guess, at the theme park are all robots. So the reason why people go there is so that they can go to a place and pay lots of money to kill, rape, and abuse people, but without them being people. They're robots, so, you know, it doesn't really matter. That is the gist of the program. I love kind of sci-fi. I love robots. I love just fantasy, technology, and gore. So all of that is in this show. So if you love things like that, you will definitely love Westworld. I really enjoy the TV show Gotham. Gotham is it's a really good TV show. And I personally don't really like Batman, and I love the TV show Gotham. I'm not really into Batman. Like, I've seen all the films and everything, but I've never been one to like Batman. But Gotham, the TV show, if you haven't seen it, it is based during the before times of Batman. It is based around Bruce Wayne, you know, being very young. And, you know, what, like 14-ish kind of aging up. You know, you've got Penguin being like a young, you know, young Penguin. But I say young, he's still older than Bruce. But, you know, like young Penguin, young Catwoman, you know, and just loads of characters in there that are all like their origin stories and just them in the before times, before it was Batman the films. And I just love it. It's just so, it's so kind of, I don't know, it's not like Batman. Like, it's not focused on Batman. It kind of is, but it's not at the same time. Because, like, when you watch the Batman films, it's very much Batman, 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 and then just the villain who Batman, you know, fights. But in this, you know, it's like Bruce Wayne getting his training, Bruce Wayne mourning his parents, Bruce Wayne developing the relationship with his butler. But also, on the side note of that, Bruce Wayne hasn't become Batman yet. So you've got all the villain side of it. So you've got like Penguin and Fish Mooney and the Riddler and all of those people becoming even more, you know, evil and plotting against the city to take over the city and become, you know, the person who is in control of the city. And then you've got the DPD who are trying to control it, and they're trying to kind of simmer everything down. and you know, it's just all the different variations of the city and what's happening in the city. So I like it because it's not too focused on Bruce Wayne. There are episodes where it is quite Bruce Wayne focused, but to be honest, it's Gotham. You know, it is gonna at some point be focused on Bruce Wayne. But yeah, it is very good because it's the story as to how kind of things went so tits up, I suppose. And I like finding out why someone went mental, why someone went down that route, like why have you decided to, you know, go kill all these people and things like that. It's, you know, it's quite interesting. I know it's none of it's fiction, but it's interesting to just see how a character can develop into having these characteristics to go and do the things that they go and do. Another TV show that I really enjoy is Black Mirror. And Black Mirror can be a little bit hit and miss just because it is completely different story each episode. So as to most TV shows, they run with the same theme, the same actors, the same characters throughout the whole season and most seasons. Black Mirror is different, where every single episode is different. So it's a little bit like American Horror Story, where each season is sometimes the same characters, sometimes the same actors but different characters and a completely different storyline. This is like that, but sometimes they repeat actors, but most of the time they're completely different actors. But each episode is its own mini movie. So it can be a little bit hit and miss because sometimes they do an episode that completely relates to you and is something that you absolutely love and like a subject you're really into, and then the next one can be not as much something you're into. So it can, as I said, be a bit hit and miss, but about 8 times out of 10 I will love the episode of Black Mirror because most of the time they have some kind of sinister undertone. They always go a little bit dark, a little bit kind of horror. Not all the time, but a good few times. There's one of my favourite episodes, which I think is in season... I think it might be in season 2. I think. But it's the one that's the horror game episode, where basically there's this guy who is travelling around and he's just doing odd jobs, and he finds this job online, which is to basically test out a new era of video game, and it's basically virtual reality but taken to the next level, and it just spirals from there. And because I love gaming and and horror, it was kind of perfect for me because yeah, that was a good episode. And then there's another episode that I really love, which is one where basically life is Instagram. I don't have to say any much else, but basically, yeah, life is like Instagram, and basically your whole life evolves around how many likes you get, how many, you know, they do it in star rankings, so like 5 stars is obviously the best and 1 star is like the least, or just you don't get anything, which is even worse. But like depending on what job you get, depending on what house you live in, it all depends on what your ranking is on this social media. So it is very important in this reality. That was very interesting because, to be fair, it's pretty true to life right now. To be honest, if you don't have like 10,000 followers, then I'm not going to be friends with you because you're not popular enough. Because I have 15,000 followers, so I'm not going to bother following you because you're just not in my social groups. I just can't talk to you. Sorry. I don't know what that was. I don't even have 15,000. I don't even have 10,000. I don't even have 100 followers on Instagram. You can all go follow me on Instagram if you would love to. That would be nice. Little Miss Yogurt Pot. Go follow me. And also, it's something that you don't have to kind of follow through. You don't have to watch it in order. You can watch the most recent episode and then watch the first ever episode on the first ever season. Like, you can just mix and match it up. So... it literally is just a mini movie. They're like They can range from like 45 minutes to about an hour and 15. So they are just like a slightly shorter movie. So they're good. You should go watch them. Another TV show that I absolutely love, and it has finished now, which is a shame, but it was good while it lasted, is Breaking Bad. I love Breaking Bad. Just because it's, to be honest with you, I'm quite surprised I like Breaking Bad, because it's not like how you would imagine a drug TV show to be. It's, you know, a chemistry teacher, you know, is diagnosed with cancer. This isn't like a spoiler or anything, because it's very much like the whole part of the TV show. You find out he has cancer in the first episode, so if you haven't seen it, don't worry. It's not like a major plot spoiler. He basically finds out he has cancer, and they struggle to pay their bills as it is, basically, and he basically needs to pay his medical fees, as well as paying for the house, as well as paying for their son, and it just gets a bit too much. And because he's a chemistry teacher, and I can't remember exactly how it happens, but he basically gets in touch and becomes friendly with someone who does drugs, / I think he deals, I can't really remember, but he figures out that he can do what they're doing, but better. So he's like, I can make this drug, you know. And then he does whatever he does, tests it all out, and then they're like, actually, this drug is the tits. We're gonna sell this. And then he becomes like, he literally like takes over the drug industry in that area. Like, everyone knows about him, and he has like a nickname so that like no one links him to him, and basically it gets to be like a massive deal. And things just go not as necessarily as planned. But yeah, he becomes like a big drug lord, basically, when he's just like a chemistry teacher. Which is funny. And also he's the dad from Malcolm in the Middle, so it just seems a bit weird, because I grew up watching Malcolm in the Middle, and then I'm just seeing him be a drug lord, and I'm like, oh, okay. And there's a really funny alternate ending to it, which isn't the real ending, so it's not like a spoiler or anything, but there is a alternate ending which has been uploaded onto the internet, which I think the official people from the Breaking Bad creators have made, which is to do with Malcolm in the Middle. So if you've watched Breaking Bad, go check that out. I'll put like a link down below, because if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's funny. It's very short, but it's just, you know, if you've watched Malcolm in the Middle and you grew up watching it, and you've watched Breaking Bad, yeah, it's funny. The Carrie Diaries. So this is a TV show. It's based on Carrie from Sex and the City. So it's her as a lot younger. She's at school, college kind of age, and basically it's her whole story on her becoming the Carrie in Sex and the City. And yeah, it's just a nice feel-good, easy watching. You know, there's no like plot twists, or you've got to concentrate on this one because then you're not going to understand the next episode. There's none of that. There's no like you have to sit there and concentrate for ages. It's just fun to watch. It's funny, it's clever, and it's just yeah, it's just like an everyday life TV show, which I like. And I love Sex and the City, so I like the idea of seeing how Carrie became Carrie. It's got a lot to do with the fashion world, which I know I'm not like well endowed in, you know, the knowledge of fashion, but I like just the whole, you know, industry of it. I find it fascinating, just magazines and photo shoots and just the glamour of it and all the free clothes, and it's very glamorous, and obviously I will never be a part of it, so it's nice to watch a TV show which, you know, gives me a little insight into it. My next one that I'm going to say is Sex and the City, and I love this for all the reasons that I love Carrie Diaries, and more, because it's more based around, you know, the romantic side of a relationship, sex, obviously, hence the name. But it's not all about sex. It's about relationships, sex, fashion, and girls having fun together. Friendship. It's about friendship as well. Going more down the reality TV side, I love Made in Chelsea. As you know, as embarrassing as it may, well, I say embarrassing, I'm not embarrassed to say that I like Made in Chelsea. It's just the stigma of reality TV shows is what's embarrassing. But Made in Chelsea, like, I enjoy Made in Chelsea. I think it's good. And also I love the fact that it doesn't really take itself too seriously. Obviously it does take itself seriously to a certain extent, but when it comes to like the end of season parties and things like that, they will do like a 5-minute segment before the end of season party happens, and they do like a little acting out scenario where they will act and be, you know, for instance, the one that just went, they all pretended to be in a nativity, and someone was playing Joseph, someone was playing Mary, someone was a donkey, the three wise kings. You know, like they all were playing those parts, so they were acting, because the whole like stigma around it is it's not reality TV. It's not reality TV because they're all just acting. It's all just staged. It's all, you know, it's all a lie. Which to a certain extent, yes, it is. But obviously, as a viewer, I don't know how much is a lie. You would like to think that some of it is truth. Well, enough of it is truth, because surely they can't keep up the lies forever, because obviously on their social medias, on their Instagrams and everything, they're with the partners that they're with on the TV shows, so obviously those bits aren't lies, and people leave because they get in relationships, so obviously I don't know, maybe they're in their contract being part of the show that, I don't know, they have to delve into other fingers in all the pies type of scenario, because they all seem to date each other and, you know, play around with each other. So probably that's why people leave, because they actually find people they truly like and don't want the show to mess it up for them. But you do get, you know, for instance, Louise and Ryan on the show at the minute, like, you know, they seem pretty serious and they're still on the show, but to be honest, you know, each to their own, really. It's quite cool if you want to like see, you know, like the swanky expensive restaurants and cafes and bars and stuff in London. Like, it's quite nice to kind of see the different spots in London, but I've never been to any of them, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if they're nice, but they look nice on the show. But yeah, I enjoy watching that. Also Pokemon, and this is obviously very old, and it's got so many seasons. I can't remember how many seasons it's got, but it's got like a lot. And I grew up watching Pokemon, and I've recently started watching it again, so that's why it's on this list, because I've always loved Pokemon, I've always loved it, but I've recently got into it in the sense of like I'm now watching it like every other day, and I've got my Game Boy Color out. Yes, I have my Game Boy Color out now, and I'm playing Pokemon Red, and I have literally got addicted to it, and I'm now watching Pokemon side by side while playing the Pokemon. So yeah, that's why it's on this list, because I've always loved Pokemon and I always will love Pokemon. But if you like cartoons and you like Pokemon, watch it. Also, another reason why I decided to watch it is because I watched it as growing up, and then obviously I grew out of Pokemon, even though I'm now still love it. But you know, like when you grow up, you're like, oh no, I don't watch kids programs, like you go through that, but then you get older and then you're like, oh no, I love the kids programs. So yeah, and obviously there's so much of it that I haven't seen. There's so many new Pokemon out, like they have the Pokemon range in McDonald's now, and I look at it and I'm like, I only recognise like 3 Pokemon. Like, what's going on? Like, why am I not in touch with Pokemon? Like, how do I not know all the new Pokemon? Because obviously there was 150 when I watched it, and now there's probably thousands. I don't know how many Pokemon there is now, but surely they release a good, like, 50 or 100 for each, you know, each season or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of Pokemon that I have not seen. I don't even know at what point I stopped watching it. Maybe like season 3 or 4? I don't know, but that's why I'm watching it. I'm watching it from the beginning again, even though I do know the story of Pokemon, but I'm watching it from the beginning, and I will watch it until the end. I don't know if Pokemon's still going. Is Pokemon still going? But yeah, so I'm watching it from the beginning onwards. But yeah, Pokemon, if you don't know, which I'm pretty certain you're going to know what Pokemon is, it's a fantasy TV show where it's a world where people basically train as Pokemon trainers, and Pokemon are animals, which some are quite kind of present to today's world. Like, you have like mousy Pokemon, like Pikachu's like a mouse, but an electric mouse, so obviously it's not like a real mouse. You have like Raticate, Rattata, which is a rat. You know, you have like dog-like Pokemon, you have cat-like Pokemon, Meowth, and you know, you have snake Pokemon, and you know, you have lots of different types of Pokemon. You have turtle Pokemon, but they're different. Like, they have powers, and you battle them against each other. It's like Crazy Bones, but with animals. My last one that I'm going to talk about is another reality TV show. And it is RuPaul's Drag Race. I love RuPaul's Drag Race. At the moment, if any of you are watching Celebrity Big Brother, Shane, the young guy in there, he is from RuPaul's Drag Race. He is a drag queen, as you would have seen if you're watching the show. He dresses up as Courtney Act, and he has been on RuPaul, and he is great. My personal favourite drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race are Adore Delano, Jinx Monsoon, Thorgy Thor, Milk, Bianca Del Rio. It's basically a show where men that are drag queens apply to go on this show, and they go through certain tasks of like making their own dresses, making their own outfits, do stand-up comedian tasks, they do acting tasks. It's basically a reality show for drag queens to prove their talent as a drag queen, and to prove that they can be the next RuPaul's drag queen. You know, a Ru girl. They're called Ru girls, and they go on tour around the whole world and show off their skill, because normally they have a certain kind of niche. You have to show like a multi-diverse, like, you have to be multi-talented to win the show. And it's just really funny. And at the end of every episode, it's on like once a week, they do lip sync for your life. So they then have to lip sync to a song at the end, and they just go crazy. They go for it, and you know, RuPaul then picks who leaves and who stays. It's just fun. They're all my favourite. There are other TV shows that I do enjoy watching, but they're the ones that I at the moment want to talk about and have enjoyed over recent times. Yeah. So, and they're definitely ones that I think, obviously depending on what you are interested in, you should definitely check it out. Like, if what I've said about it is something that is similar interest to things you would watch, definitely check it out, because they are good shows. They're definitely good shows. It's quite a diverse list though, because obviously from RuPaul's Drag Race, you know, drag queens competing against each other, to you know, Breaking Bad, you know, quite different in people who would watch them, but I like both, so I'm sure there's people out there who like both as well. So let me know if there is any on this list that you have seen, you have enjoyed, or if there's any on this list that I have mentioned and you're interested in watching. And yeah, just chat in the comments. Give this video a like if you liked it, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much. Bye.